I'm Leo Sidran with The Art of the Story. Paco de Lucia was considered by many to be the greatest flamenco guitarist who ever lived. He shaped the sound of contemporary flamenco. He expanded the possibilities of the music, bringing jazz and classical elements into it and collaborating with artists from around the world. Paco died at age 66 in 2014. In this, the 10th anniversary of his death, a major tribute to his influence and innovations is being held in New York City. The celebration is called Paco de Lucia Legacy, and it's taking place over 5 days and nights, bringing 8 events and 33 artists to Carnegie Hall, Town Hall, Le Poisson Rouge, Instituto Cervantes, and Symphony Space. The aim is not only to celebrate the man's life, but to demonstrate how his work, beginning in a small Spanish town, came to transcend all musical borders and some physical ones as well. From the very beginning, music and family were one thing for Paco. He was mentored by his guitar player father and by his older brother Ramon, and he recorded his first album, Los Chiquitos de Algeciras, with his older brother Pepe, when Paco was just 14 years old. As his career unfolded, he built relationships with musicians that mirrored the intimacy and intensity of family. Longtime Paco de Lucia collaborator Jorge Pardo, who is among the artists who are traveling from Spain to New York this week, told me,
"Of course, for me, Paco is not just a musician, he's my older brother. So it's very difficult to separate emotional and musical."
Paco brought the guitar, which had traditionally been in the background accompanying singers, to the front of the stage. And he was an explorer, bringing the outside worlds of jazz and classical music to the deep folk tradition of flamenco music. He repositioned Spain on the world stage and cast a new light on its future. But Paco himself didn't seem to think in those terms. He was just doing the next thing in front of him. So, for example, when he asked saxophone and flute player Jorge Pardo to join him in the studio one day, he wasn't setting out to make history or define an era. He just needed a new arrangement for his record. Pardo remembers.
We were at the same record label, and we were rehearsing in one studio, and Paco was recording his album, Paco de Lucia Plays Manuel de Falla. He said, "Oh, listen, what are you doing this afternoon? Would you come with me and try to improvise some arrangement?" And we said, "Yeah, why not? Of course." He's, okay, and there started everything.
Jorge Pardo brought the sound of the flute to flamenco, which opened up new registers of feeling. But he hadn't started out thinking about flamenco as his primary interest. In fact, he says that it was only after hearing Miles Davis experiment with the Spanish musical forms, particularly on the album Sketches of Spain, that he realized the richness of his own tradition. He told me,
"Then you realize that, wow, that music is being seen from great musicians from abroad, and they are doing something. So we are fool, we are silly with our music. Somebody else has to do it, and we have it here on hand."
This week, the Paco de Lucia Legacy will be a truly historic gathering of flamenco musicians, friends, collaborators, disciples, and artists who were influenced by Paco. It's an unprecedented convocation of Spanish musicians in New York. And it's a family reunion as well. I'm Leo Sidran, WBGO News.